The day you become a leader, start planning your retirement. A lot of people can't digest it.
What if I don't have a religion? Then what shall I do?
Every religion will have this dark side.
Yeah.
But don't start hating religion. It could be a church, it could be a temple, it could be a mosque. But that may not be spiritual. Leadership is very dangerous, you know it. It's a power game. But if you don't have a spiritual base, you can become mad in power, you can become corrupted. Genius is a person who knows when to stop, even before starting. As I told you, my father could sit down quietly for 10 hours a day. I've seen that in my own house next to me.
So what are the 3 leadership lessons that we can learn from Chanakya?
There are many ways you can start, but my personal suggestion is definitely a must for everyone. Can be done by anybody and anywhere.
Before we start, I have a small favor to ask you. Don't forget to subscribe. That will help us more than you think, and we will be able to bring you even better content. Maybe you can tell us, what is a spiritual journey?
Yeah. So spirituality can be defined in various ways. And many people have different, I would say, definitions of spirituality. When I go abroad, a lot of people think spirituality is something about the spirits. So they invoke spirits and they take blessings. Some people think spirituality is about, certain gods and goddesses, certain rituals, certain prayers. And many people are part of spiritual institutions. It could be a church, it could be a temple, it could be a mosque, it could be a gurudwara, whichever religion and tradition you follow. But that's tradition, but that may not be spiritual. So a lot of people who do spiritual activity are good people. They follow a discipline, they have a habit, like going to a temple or a church on a particular day of the week. Now I've also seen in my own understanding, such people are good, but may not guarantee they are spiritual. And a lot of other people also equate spirituality with service to society. So if I'm doing service to people, I'm spiritual. Yes, a spiritual person can do service to society, but that again doesn't guarantee spirituality. My own understanding about spirituality and the way I have studied philosophy, I'm a Ph.D. in philosophy.
Wow.
So what I've understood is that spirituality is a person who has got 2 personalities. Oh, 2 personalities, yeah. He is not a hypocrite having dual personality, but there is an inner world and there is an outer world. I'm sure everybody has got these 2 types of personalities. What I think, the world of thoughts, you may not understand. Your world of thoughts, I may not understand till we have a conversation. So the person who is inside and the person who is acting outside. So outside, I could be an entrepreneur, I could be a sportsman, I could be a politician, I could be a teacher, any profession. If both of them are balanced and in line, then you are a spiritual person. Otherwise, person inside and person outside, there is a conflict. So this balance, we also call it as yoga. I call it spirituality.
What is it for you? You talk a lot about the inner part, but how can you describe that?
Sure. So the inner world of thoughts.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has got the individual thoughts. And today, unfortunately, we are a generation where mental health issues are growing. So what are the mental health issues? So people can't focus on a particular object or something for a long period of time. So the attention deficit. Then there is loneliness. A lot of people are going through that. In many developed countries, so-called developed countries, also loneliness is a major problem. Even in a developed economy like US, the government is worried about loneliness. And these are all inner problems. And I find very surprising when people can't handle this inner world, they even try to attempt suicide. So a lot of people actually are trying that route to come out of mental health problems. Now coming back to the inner world. So the inner world is a world of thoughts, ideas, concepts. So it's all inside. And the way I look at it, a spiritual person understands this. But he doesn't get carried away by this. For example, let's say today I have to wear a nice dress like you. So I will open my wardrobe and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 options. Which should I take up for dressing today? Okay, I think the red color suits me. Okay, I will wear a red dress today. Somebody says, no, I think green color is better for today. Somebody says, no, on the camera, a little bit of a dark color is better. So the editor will be very happy having a dark color. Now, in the outer world, we choose which job to take up, which dress to wear, which food to eat. Can you choose your thoughts inside? Like for example, I'm having thoughts like anger. So no, not for me. Not today. Maybe I should not get angry at this person. So I'm very aware of the thoughts. And there are 20 thoughts. In fact, a highly developed yogi or a meditator can choose his thoughts and tell the thought, listen, you're talking negatively about that person, shut up. Next, okay, you have to have healthy food. Okay, that's a thought I will choose today. Okay, you want to go for a movie? Great.
Yeah.
But afterwards in the evening, and I should stop the movie at 10 o'clock, I need to go to sleep. So for me, if you can actually direct the inner world, for example, the negative thoughts also, anger, then we have envy, greed, jealousy. So if you can say, okay, I'm aware of it, and I think anger, jealousy, greed, frustration is normal for everybody. But then there are positive thoughts also. Love, kindness, understanding. And say, okay, I choose this over this. So this kind of an activity to choose which thought from your inner world is spirituality according to me.
Oh, I love it. You know what I love? I love is the first thing is like what you mentioned. For me was I had a big block in the past that I was associating spirituality with religion.
Yeah.
And I was struggle. The moment I separated the two, I said, oh, there's something here for me. I love it. It's a nice explanation. There's a lot of explanation about spirituality. I really, really like. How do you practice spirituality?
So I think what you started is about religion versus spirituality. I will bring in one more word, philosophy.
Oh.
So they are all interconnected. So I may be born in a religion. So it could be the traditional family that I'm brought up in. So I would be called a Hindu or a Christian or a Muslim or a Sikh. So I mean that's a religion that you're born into. But a lot of people don't practice the religion that you're born into. So today there are words like practicing Hindu or practicing Christian. What does it mean? So there are patterns. So I do certain rituals.
Okay.
So that's religion. For example, if I'm a Hindu, I'll do certain pujas.
Yeah.
Certain rituals like Gayatri Mantra is a very common spiritual practice in Hindu culture. So I will invoke the sun god and then do certain rituals. There's certain pujas. I'm sure this happens in every religion. Even in Buddhism, there are rituals. Now, what happens for me is that is one good practice. We should not avoid it. You should be proud of your religion, whichever you are born into. Because that comes with your family and you should respect your family and your tradition also. But as you go subtler, like as you go from a school to maybe higher education institution, go to a college or a university, the number of people will reduce. In a school, you have got maybe 10,000 children. In India, it's very common. Then you say, okay, in universities, you may only have 1,000 students. When you go a little bit higher, let's say you want to do your master's degree, the number again reduces. When you do a PhD, there will be hardly a few students. Postdoctoral, again few. So spirituality, as you go higher, it goes beyond rituals, beyond religion, and then you start practicing, okay, there's a philosophy behind it. So let's say Buddhism, okay, there's a philosophy. Jainism, there is a philosophy. You start reading, understanding that. For example, let's say in the Jainism religion, there is a philosophy called as aparigraha. What does it mean? Not holding things. So, a lot of my friends in the Jainism community have studied a lot about all philosophies of the world. So, I've read about the philosophy of the Christian culture, the Islamic culture, and every religion will have its own philosophy. And we should learn the positive parts. For example, aparigraha means non-hoarding. Today is a generation of mass production. In every house, there is no place to keep things. And the wardrobe is full of clothes, you have a problem. And when we go to a shopping mall, it's discounts. So buy 2 and get 3 free. So what is happening is we are having a generation of hoarding everything, not only dresses, but also we are hoarding money. And the Jainism philosophy says you should give back to the society. Don't hoard, give back. That's a philosophy. Now, as you grow a little bit higher, in spirituality you start even non-hoarding of thoughts. So every day when I get up in the morning till the end of the day, I have 10,000 thoughts and I make it a part of me. You don't have to. You don't hoard thoughts. In the night before you go to sleep, can you empty your mind? With a prayer, with whatever practice you have. And they say, okay, I will take 3 positive thoughts. I'll keep it in my account. but remaining everything deleted. So coming back, spirituality for me is a higher level of religion.
You will go above thoughts,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I really like that. I love how you broke into three. You have your religion, after that you have the philosophy of the religions, and then even after that you have all like the thoughts, and you can even choose your thoughts.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I did that exercise actually when I traveled around the world for 15 months, and one of my goals was to understand religions,
Wow.
the rituals, but I wanted to understand the philosophies.
Wow.
And the richness of the philosophies of religion, it's unbelievable. Yeah. And that's where I get also a lot of inspiration from the philosophies of all these religions. This is deep, doctor. So good.
Thanks.
So good. Now for people who are listening to us, who want to go in a spiritual journey, where can they start?
Okay. So one of my favorite religions, all my religions that I study, I love every aspect of one of them is the Jewish religion.
Oh.
The Jews.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, there's so much depth of philosophy in them.
Yeah.
For example, I remember reading one of the books of the Jewish religion, and there's a very beautiful statement I read. If you save one person, you save the whole world. That's a deep philosophy. So that you don't have to serve the whole world. Can you serve one person? Can you give employment to one person? You actually saved the whole community. So coming back, where do we start? There are many ways you can start, but my personal suggestion is study. Because most of us in our generation are educated, we can read and write. So whichever language you're comfortable with, you should study the local and your own religion's books, literature. Like as a person born in the Hindu religion, I would study my literature and I would study in the Sanskrit language. Of course, there are translations in English and various other languages. What happens is that my own misconceptions about religion and spirituality changes when you study the philosophy part of it. So study your own religion and other religions is the first step. Second step, make a habit of one spiritual practice a day. It could be, a very small habit like, praying every day in front of the altar, whichever God you believe in, and then starting your day. Or maybe a small practice like, praying before you eat the food. And you eat a food at least 3 times a day. But what happens over a period of time, it becomes a part of your mental habit. So there are a lot of practices like people get up in the morning and pray to God before going to bed. So take one religion, one religious practice. Like a lot of people go to a religious place once in a week. But I know people who actually go to a temple or a place of worship every day, not just so you decide that. First thing is to read, second is to have a spiritual reading. Third one, and definitely a must for everyone, sit down quietly watching your thoughts every day. Many people say, I can't sit down, I can't focus. So every expert was once a beginner. My father could meditate for 10 hours a day. Everybody cannot. But what I'm saying, can you start with 1 minute a day? 1 minute. Today people can't even focus. That's why in Reels we got 1 minute. Attention is not there. But what I'm saying is that if you can sit with yourself without a distraction, put the phone on silent, get yourself into a small room where there is not much of a sound, and sit quietly with yourself, ideally for 20 minutes. Then what is happening? You are throwing away the rubbish in your mind. And your mind is empty for new thoughts, good thoughts. So reading good books, practicing something on a daily habit, as a daily habit, and of course sitting quietly with yourself, emptying your mind. 20 minutes a day is ideal. If not, start with 1 minute, slowly make it 20 minutes. And if you can reach to 1 hour a day, great. But these 3 practices can be done by anybody and anywhere. You don't have to go to a particular place, but you can start from where you are.
Wow, there's so much there to unpack. But something that I'm curious, I want to ask you. What if I don't have a religion, or I don't want to follow a religion? Then what should I do?
In fact, a lot of people in our generation are actually questioning the religion itself.
Yes.
Saying that, it is making me dogmatic. I should only follow this. I should only do this. A lot of people don't want that. And especially when your religion has got some dark sides. Every religion will have this dark side.
Yeah.
And they're exposed to that too much. They start hating their religion. And I know so many people who actually don't like their own religions, whichever religion. They say this is not what religion is meant to be, because according to me, religion is about peaceful coexistence. But here you are hatred. Within religion also there are conflicts. So let's say accept one religion, whichever religion you accept. Now within that you see conflict. The people start hating the concept of religion itself. So what if you don't believe in the concept of religion? It's okay. I'm fine. But don't start hating religion. Yours or others. The reason is that religion is organized way of getting people to the spiritual path. If you don't like it, it's fine. But start looking at the positive side of religion. For example, if you look at the Islamic culture, I'll tell you, believe me, I got so many Muslim friends.
Yeah.
Now, one of the positive qualities of that religion is unity.
Yeah.
So they're always together.
Yeah.
So if one person requires help, others will come and help him. So you never feel lonely. If you look at the Christian religion, it's very organized. And I love that culture.
Yeah.
Again, if you look at Sikhism, it's a very prominent religion from India. In Sikhism, there is a concept of giving back to the society. So if you go to any particular Gurudwara, which is a part of the Sikh culture, you will have something called a langar. So what they do is that they give free food to anybody and everybody. So whoever comes, and it's 24/7. Nobody can go hungry if you are actually practicing Sikh. So you find this particular system even in the houses of those people. When you come, the hospitality level is very high. So across the world, there are many religions. Don't hate them because you don't like certain aspects of it. But if you can study and say there is one commonality, they're good, they're community driven, they do something good. Like again, I spoke about Jainism. They are very community oriented. If you look at the Parsi culture is very entrepreneurial. And they support anybody who wants to become an entrepreneur. That's why they're the wealthiest community in India, the wealthiest religion in India. So my point is, if you don't like your religion, don't hate it at least. Study it, understand the positive, and I'm sure you will find it if you deep dive. Take one quality of your own religion and take one quality of some other religion and work on that, and you will definitely be more a spiritual person.
Love it.
Thank you.
That is so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's what when I started something bigger is that when we understand that there's something bigger than all of us, then all the religions that connects us. And I love that. Is like, don't hate religion. Just see there's so much richness in the religions. Just learn from it and apply it to your life. You don't need to have a religion. And that's what I do. That's why I love like India, all the religions that are in India. We can learn so much. Good. This is getting good.
Thank you.
For me, meditation has been a big game changer. As you said, it was the third thing that you said that you suggest people to do. For me, it was very difficult at the beginning. It took me 10 years, but 3 years back, I managed to start doing every day. So now I do 1 hour every day.
Wow.
And that has changed my life. I mean, you are a master in meditation. For people who want to start meditating, what's your advice?
So it's like baby steps. So if you want to cycle or you want to drive a motor car, you never start doing it on a highway. You'll meet with accident because there are bigger vehicles who will come and bash you up. So how do you practice in the beginning? Let's say you want to drive a cycle. You actually practice it on open ground when there is no traffic. And you also have a mentor, a coach who will help you. So if you have a car to be driven for the first time, there will be an instructor. He'll sit with you, he'll explain to you, this is a car, this is the mechanism, this is the steering wheel, this is the clutch, this is the accelerator. If an automatic car also will tell you. So what is happening is that in the first stages, you will never do meditation for 1 hour. As you said, you have to crack it. It takes time. Every expert was once a beginner. So in the beginning stage, you require a coach, a guide, an instructor, or a mentor. And in the field of meditation, there are a lot of meditation practices. So in India, you got so many different varieties of meditation. For example, Sudarshan Kriya is a type of meditation. Then we have, right now very popular Jaggi Vasudeva, whom we call as Sadguru. He's got a meditation technique called inner engineering. Then Vipassana, very famous form of meditation, very popular globally. It is a type of meditation that Buddha taught. Then there are others also. There is Vedantic meditation. Technically, there is Panchakosha meditation. There are forms. So, if you have a guru from a particular thought or a particular process, he will teach you that. He or she will teach you that. Even yoga, finally, they help you meditate a little bit. So, if you're a beginner, I say, try and find out. Don't go for a guru shopping, but try to find a guru or a mentor of meditation who himself has done that. Like you can meditate now for 1 hour. Can you teach somebody to meditate for 2 minutes? 5 minutes, you can do that. So I don't require an expert in the beginning, but if an expert is available to teach me. Second, I think what's very important in meditation that please watch your thoughts even when your eyes are open. You can be conscious. So if you can start in the beginning by sitting quietly for 20 minutes a day, that's a great beginning. If you have a mentor, he will tell you what to do. And of course, read and watch podcasts on meditation. But then a process. You require all these initial, I would say, guidance. But over a bit of a time, you can even have open-eyed meditation. So this process of sitting down with a cross leg and what we see as meditation, it's important in the beginning. And going back to the example, once you are an expert, in the highway also you can drive the car without looking around. You can listen to music also. But that's a very far advanced stage. As I told you, my father could sit down quietly for 10 hours a day without moving. I mean, it was an inspiration. And I'm not talking about something I heard. I've seen that in my own house next to me. But he had practiced that for 40 years. So anybody who practices anything for more than 10 years becomes an expert. But what I'm saying, think big, start small. Think big, start small.
I like it. And that's exactly what I did. I experiment different kinds of meditations, what you mentioned. Like for myself, Vipassana was one that I really enjoyed. Also, technology helped me also to give me to guide me. But now I'm in that stage where it's free meditation. So I have a combination of different meditations. Very good. Okay. Now it takes us to Chanakya, right? Like, who is Chanakya?
So Chanakya was a political strategist, and he lived in India in the 4th century BC, roughly 2,400 years ago. And he was known for many things. First of all, he was instrumental in creating what is called the golden era of India. You must have heard that India was the richest country in the world. So he was responsible for that. He was also known as a kingmaker. So he created a lot of his students who became kings of that generation. The famous one is Chandragupta Maurya. And he made him an emperor of India. He was also responsible for defeating Alexander. Remember, he was not a king. He did not have an army of his own, but he was an intellectual warrior. So through his strategies, Alexander was defeated, India was united. But that's only one contribution. He was a philosopher. He was a spiritual guru. And very important, the leaders that he created, he wanted them to be philosopher kings. The Sanskrit word is Raj Rishi. So even if you're a leader, leadership is very dangerous, it. It's a power game. But if you don't have a spiritual base, you can become mad in power, you can become corrupted. And finally, he wrote many books. The most famous one is called Chanakya Niti or Chanakya Strategies and Kautilya's Artha Shastra, How to Govern a Kingdom. So, a great person. I've never physically met him because he was centuries ago. Yet his ideas can inspire our generation also, and it has inspired me.
What was you researched so much about him. What was something that really surprised you about him as a person or his philosophy?
He was detached in power. When you're in power, so you can almost get attached to power. Because power comes with a lot of fringe benefits. For example, let's say you are a chairman of a company. I mean, that's power, right? That's leadership. And what happens is that, in power, you have a lot of benefits, like you have so many employees working under you. You have so much money power with you. You have so many decision-making powers. Now what happens is that, that is only because of the position of the chairman. The day you are not the chairman of the company, nobody even will look at you if you are not a good human being. So I saw that in a lot of government high level officers. So they may be high level police officers, bureaucrats. So they have a power to punish. They may have, millions of people under them also. So that's a position. Yet the day they retire, they're stripped off from their own uniform and powers. And they can't handle it. And this is what Chanakya taught me, that in power, don't get attached to power. So Chanakya was in the power game, but he was not in the position of power. He created people in power, his students, and he was guiding them. So I realized one thing, to understand power, you should understand Chanakya. Guide people in power, understand power, but don't get attached to power. That's why he became a mentor, like what you are doing. A mentor is very important for leaders, and he was a leadership mentor and a coach and a guide. That's what I like about Chanakya.
Oh, so don't get attached to power. But how can we do that practically?
Yeah, so very interesting. I always tell my so-called students or even clients, the day you become a leader, start planning your retirement. So day you become a leader, start planning your retirement. A lot of people can't digest it. For example, you have worked in a company. You started at maybe a small level. You became a manager. Then you become a leader. Now what happens? A long journey to become a leader. It takes 25, 30, 40 years. Now what happens is that suddenly they realize, oh, I only got 10 years now or 5 years. And that is a time when people start planning their retirement. In fact, many people don't even plan their retirement after 60. So the company should have, listen, this is your last year. You better retire.
Get out.
And there's a saying I had once read. Genius is a person who knows when to stop, even before starting. So there you get the position of leader. You said, okay, this is only a temporary phase. Leadership position can go, but I will remain. And before you are kicked out, you should know how to walk out. So how do you get detached in power? So yes, I become a leader. In many cases, I've seen people who become politicians. They get elected to power.
Yeah.
So president of a country, the prime minister of a country, the chief minister of a state, the mayor. Now what happens if you see that they have contested very hard and they become powerful person and they're very happy now they became a leader. But in a very subtle way, the ego enters their mind. Oh, I'm powerful. I've got so many security people around. And this is where attachment starts. I've seen so many people in power who are members of parliament. So what happens is that they became a leader and they get all these fringe benefits.
Yeah.
People come behind them, requesting them, you're God, do this for me. And they're very happy I can do a lot of things. But the day the next election they are elected out, they don't know what to do because they identify themselves with that position. So how do you get detached? Start creating leaders under you when you are a leader. A leader is not the one who creates followers. A leader is the one who creates more leaders. So what happens is that you're saying, okay, I'll be gone, but this company will have better leaders than me.
Yeah.
That's why you're saying, okay, I will be gone and I should go away. The game is bigger than the captain of the team. So a lot of captains, they don't want to retire. But remember, the game is bigger than the player and the team is bigger than the captain. So a captain actually makes sure that there are better captains in the team. And one of my job as a captain is to not only win the game, but also create better captains than me who will continue the winning after I am gone. That's how you get detached.
Wow, this is so good.
Thank you.
How did Chanakya help you, like specifically in your life? Give me an example.
So many examples. In fact, I'm always aware. I'm in the power game myself.
Yeah.
And I work with so many very highly powerful people. Be it politicians, be it the generals of the army. I work with academicians who are vice chancellors, presidents of universities. So I'm surrounded by leaders. But I always consciously tell myself, all this is temporary. Nothing is permanent. I'll give you a simple example in my life. I was called by the Delhi, which is the political capital of this country. And one of the very high level politicians called me, you are the Chanakya guy. So I'm quite popular in India. And, oh yeah, I'm the Chanakya. Dr. Pillai, we want to meet you. We have an interesting assignment of the government of India. I want you to handle it. Okay. Of course, I went for the meeting and they say, okay, we are planning the International Yoga Day. Now everybody knows about it. 21st June, we celebrate International Yoga Day. And they said, we want you to be the main person running this whole, process. I said, okay, why me? Chanakya. Because of Chanakya, attract all these powerful people. And they said, we have budgets for you and all those things. You have to organize things. So I organized it. In fact, I took a team of 30 people. We went to USA, to New York, to our United Nations, and we got it all organized. Can you believe I was part of the core team as a captain? It was not one of the members. I selected the members in my team. And I remember, because I have some students also, why don't you become part of this group? And I still remember we were organizing the International Yoga Day. And I told my students, remember, you're all surrounded by powerful people. They're all, bureaucrats. They got so many budgets, so much thing. But remember one thing, that, we have to perform our job that is given to us, but don't get attached to this. And one small instance happened. Since I was in charge of the whole thing, and there was this IAS officer, Indian Administrative Service. So he was the district collector of one particular region. So he told me, what help do you want from us? As a government missionary, what do you want from us? I said, give me 2-3 people who can help me take decisions. Because suppose I have to sanction, some budgets. I don't have, because I don't want to get into that bureaucracy and the process. He gave me 3 IAS officers who was reporting to me. So it's a big, powerful positions. And the students will say, oh, these guys are reporting to you. Remember, it's only temporary. After this yoga day is over, you'll be kicked out. And I'll tell you one thing what happened. When I was going through the process and understanding what we were doing, I realized that there was one person who was a vendor to that conference. They were supplying something. Like, we have so many things that we have vendors. And he had actually cheated the government by actually siphoning away around 10 lakh rupees.
Wow.
And did not deliver the goods that he was supposed to deliver. I came to know because of Chanakya, I can understand who is the person behind it. I called a meeting. And I said, I think this is corruption in the government. I don't want any money. Neither should all of you get part of corruption. And 3-4 IAS officers were sitting. And I was like, I will not forgive this person. Because he has actually taken away public money, taxpayers' money. It's not a small amount.
Yeah.
So one of the IAS officers was like, what should we do? According to me, he should be arrested. Can you believe he actually got arrested the next day?
Wow.
I said, I did not tell you. But sir, you told us. That is the first time I got a taste of power, that just by saying, as they say, your wish is my command. And later on, I came to know that that particular person who had actually taken away the money from the government, his father was a very powerful businessman himself. So he was manipulating with the government funds. And what happened is that these people arrested him. And his father went to a politician and told him, my son, how can you arrest like this? We are people who are working with the government for so many generations. The politician was then called by the IAS officer and said, don't release him. So no power worked. And he was arrested later on after the conference was over. We recovered the money and then he was set free. Why am I telling this? My students were watching all these things. And then, oh, sir. And I called them. The conference, everything was over. And our work was done. I'll say today, 3 o'clock, after 3 hours, it was 12 o'clock. Well, all of you will lose your power. Because imagine you have the whole machinery, you have the government officers with you, everything. But remember, power comes to you with a purpose, for a purpose.
Yeah.
When the purpose is achieved, you're not supposed to be in power. And after 3 o'clock, we all came back home and all those things. And my students came and okay, that was the wisest message that we got, that we were part of this whole conference, international conference and all those things. But we did not understand that after 3 o'clock, the program is over and we are out of power. This is detachment. When you get power, use that power for something that is purposeful.
The purpose, yeah.
And after the purpose is achieved, you should let go. Say, wow.
I really like that. And you are following the advice from your father.
Yeah.
Ethics in business. And that's what you just did. Yeah. Really good. So what are the 3 leadership lessons that we can learn from Chanakya?
The first lesson from Chanakya is learning. Second lesson is unlearning. Unlearning. And third lesson is relearning. So I'll explain all the 3. So if you are a leader, you have to learn about leadership. A lot of people think seniority makes you a leader. Experience makes you a leader. No. Knowledge along with experience and maturity makes you a leader.
Yes.
So I always tell,
100%.
people who are not aware of leadership, they think, oh, CEO is a leadership position. Go and study, read books, watch podcasts on leadership. Go and do a course if required. Acquire the skill sets and the attitude of a leader. That's learning. Unlearning. When a person becomes a leader, he has to undo a lot of things. You cannot behave like a normal person. See, you should be common, you should be approachable, but now you got a position, your time is very valuable. So you should know that the person who was not a leader and now the person who is a leader are different. The name may be the same, but your thoughts are different. Now you have to deliver, you have to take care of so many people. So to unlearn the way a common man would think, to learn what a leader thinks like. So one is learn about leadership, unlearn about how a common man thinks, and keep relearning. Because leadership has to be emphasized again and again. You are a leader, you are a leader, you are a leader. You have to relearn. So the idea that Chanakya, of course, has 52 qualities of a leader. It's a huge book on leadership. So there's so many things. But I personally believe, you should know 3 major things in leadership. One is called inspiration. Inspiring yourself and inspiring your team. That's a leadership quality. So you have to be inspired. You cannot be lazy in leadership. Situation is bad, what to do? There's COVID happening, no business, what can we do? No, you have to be inspired, and you have to inspire your team also. Say, come on, in a sports team, okay, we have to make so many runs, or you have to hit this goal. You cannot, they're already, 3 goals ahead of us, and we only got 10 minutes. So what? Inspire, come on, let's give it our best in the last 10 minutes and make 4 goals. Why not? You have to inspire the team. That's why you have to be a motivator and inspirer. The first quality. Second is you have to be good in administration. Because when you are running a large team, and in multinational companies you got 5,000 employees, you cannot meet everybody one-to-one. So you should have systems and processes. So administration is part of a leadership requirement. And the third and very important is understanding of finance. So I'm not telling become money-minded. That's not the idea, but you have to be money conscious. You have to inspire people by motivation, but they have families to feed. So you have to be good in your financial acumen. So you require resources, and money is a very important resource. So Chanakya said this, a leader who doesn't have financial acumen will never be a leader forever. That is called Artha Shastra. Artha means wealth. You should understand the science of wealth. Important quality of a leader. You are a wealth creator, not a selfish man for yourself, but for the whole organization, your stakeholders, your shareholders, your employees.
Yeah.
So all these are also equally important.
There's so much to unpack there. So you inspire your team, you create the systems to be able to manage the team and the company, and then you need to be, I like the way you said, finance conscious, money conscious, right?
Yes.
Really good. Now, what is your advice for the youngsters that just starting? What are your advice?
2 things, and I tell this to youngsters across the globe. I teach some youngsters in many countries abroad also as a teacher. So 2 advice. First, start your spiritual journey as early as possible. Because finally, it's going to be a lifelong thing that you require. So, whichever religion, spirituality, philosophy, start your spiritual journey as early as possible. A lot of people have this concept that all these are meant for post-retirement. Now I'm very active. No, the earlier you start, it's better for you because you'll be stable. A spiritual person is a high performer.
Yeah.
So for youngsters, be on your spiritual journey. Start your spiritual journey as early as possible. Second, given an opportunity, become an entrepreneur as early as possible. Because what happens is that entrepreneurial journey, there will be a lot of ups and downs. But why become an entrepreneur at the age of 50 when your body doesn't contribute too much, you are lazy? Because the younger you are, you can travel much, you can have a lot of enthusiasm. And today is a generation of entrepreneurs. So try your entrepreneurial journey. Of course, you have to calculate the risk involved. You should have a mentor, you should have a guide. But 2 important things, spiritual journey and entrepreneurial journey, as early as you start, you'll be more successful in the long run.
Yeah. And that you say like, and have a mentor to help you in that journey.
Yeah.
Really good. You studied a lot Chanakya, and if you would meet him, what would be the one question that you would ask him?
In fact, I'm sure he'll ask me that one question. Why did you misuse my name? So because he's done so much, he's changed my life. But I'm only using his name, Chanakya. You come and say, what have you done? You spoiled my name, so he will definitely curse me. A lot of people say, I have done a lot of service to Chanakya. But if I had to meet him, I would say, first of all, thank you. Because he's answered all my questions, no questions. And he was very practical. That's more important. Because a lot of people are visionaries, they give ideas, they write books, they give suggestions. But he delivered. Because he's a person who's a theory and practice put together. I don't think I have any questions because all the questions that I have has been answered by him in the books. But definitely he'll ask me the question. You spoiled my name.
So good. And when I was researching, and there's something curious. I'm curious about why all his photos is either very serious or it looks like angry.
Actually, sometimes I feel he's got constipation. Not only serious or angry, you feel as if he has to go to the washroom. He's got indigestion. You are true. Please understand this, that the images that we have in the pictorial form are all imaginations of that artist. And because Chanakya was in power, see, power actually requires somebody to be stern. Because as a mentor, we are also not goody-goody. Sometimes you have to be stern. Don't do this. And in power, you have to tell no also. And imagine one person who are mentoring was a powerful person. You have to tell don't do this. So your face will become stern. Sometimes you have to use anger as a tool also. Leaders should know how to use anger, but not get angry.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at Chanakya's face, that's the pictorial description that you have. Is very angry, is very shrewd. You know what I did? What I did, I'll send you the photograph also. I made one of my students to actually paint a good photograph of Chanakya. And he's a very, I would say, sincere person, visionary. Yeah. So that photograph is very popular on the internet. I'll send it to you. You can also showcase it in your podcast also. You'll be surprised. He's very serene, calm, quiet, and he's active.
What is the one message that you want people to remember from this conversation?
Never fight a battle alone. Take some friends along. Life is full of challenges. We have a lot of problems. But the solution is not fighting your challenges alone. Take some people with you. Your friends, your mentors, your guides. Because life is complex. And we try to solve every problem ourselves. So Chanakya said that never fight a battle alone. Take some friends along. So the same problem which looks big for you becomes small when you have a group who is solving the problem. It's very important. Challenges will be there in life. Ups and downs will be there. But don't be an individual person fighting that. So if you have mentors with you, if you have coaches with you, friends with you, family members with you, and most important, if God is with you. So I had read one statement. Don't tell God how big the problem is. Tell the problem how big God is. So you can solve every problem in this world if you have company of other people who are with you to solve that problem. So never fight a battle alone. Take some friends along with you.
What a wonderful way to end our conversation. It's been such a pleasure.
Thanks.
First to meet you. I love your attitude, but also I admire a lot your wisdom. And I'm very happy that what you're doing, sharing that wisdom with the world. Thank you for coming.
But I just want to appreciate you. You have been a wonderful host. And the way you have asked this question, they're very deep, very philosophical, very practical. I enjoyed this more than any other interviews that I've done. Thank you.